Genesis 13 begins with something familiar. In verses 3 and 4, Abram returns to a place he's been before, the place where he built an altar, and it says he calls on the name of the Lord again. So the question is, why go back? Is this a reset after what happened in Egypt, or is it something deeper? But then the story shifts. In verses 5 to 7, both Abram and Lot have grown. More livestock, more possessions, and suddenly, there's conflict, not even directly between them, but between their herdsmen. So now the question becomes, why does increase lead to tension? And then Abram does something unexpected. In verses 8 and 9, he gives Lot the first choice. He says, if you go left, I'll go right. If you go right, I'll go left. But wait, wasn't Abram the one who received the promise? So why give up the first choice? Why prioritize peace over position? And then Lot chooses. In verse 10, he looks, and he sees that the land is well watered, like the garden of the Lord, like Egypt. So he chooses based on what he sees. But then there's a detail in verse 13. It says the people of Sodom were already wicked. So now the question is, did Lot see everything, or just what looked good? And then something shifts again. In verse 14, after Lot separates from Abram, God speaks, not before, after. Why? Why wait until that moment? And then God tells Abram to look in every direction, north, south, east, west. But Lot had already chosen what looked best. So why is Abram now being told to look? And then in verse 17, something even more interesting. God tells Abram to walk through the land, to move through it. Why? Why not just give it to him? Why involve movement? Why involve time? And by the end, Abram builds another altar. So now there's a pattern: return, conflict, separation, promise, movement. So the question is, why does the promise seem to expand after separation happens? What do you think?